Hi, here we are at the Laars Training Center. Anytime you're servicing a piece of equipment, it must be performed by a licensed contractor. Also, gas and electric must be shut off prior to servicing that equipment. Thank you. Hi, my name is Steve Maruzzi. We're here at the Laars Training Center. We're going to talk about the LC boiler and how to perform combustion setup. Combustion setup in any service should be performed by a licensed contractor. There's a couple different sizes. There's the 1 million, the 1 million 2, and previously a 1 million 7. We'll talk about the different gas valves used and how to get in and set up combustion. There are, in this product, it's basically two boilers in one cabinet. So you'll have two gas valves, two blowers, two burners. Each gas valve will need to be set up independently, and then we'll do them both together once we get combustion completed. Okay, before we remove the outer panel, there is a window here that simply loosen the thumb screw if you need to access the touchscreen display and then drop that down. There are two Phillips head screws, one on either side. We're going to remove those Phillips head screws and remove the outer bezel. Okay, so we're going to remove the last screw. We're going to lift the panel straight up and out. Now we have access to the lower bulkhead door. I want to point out two plugs here. The top one is the primary burner, the lower one is the secondary burner. This lower bulkhead door must be on the cabinet when you're doing combustion setup. Otherwise we're drawing excess air in from the front. Very simply, to remove those plugs, to rubber grommet, remove the plug, make your valve adjustment, put the plug back on. What we're going to do for this case, for the demonstration purpose, I'm going to remove the lower bulkhead door. That way you can see where the actual adjustments are made on these valves. Okay, so this gas valve is used on the 1,200,000 BTU or the 1,000,007. I've removed the large blue cap. This is where a high fire adjustment is made. You've got the plus and the minus indicators right on the valve. And the low fire adjustment is under the aluminum cap, plus or minus, using a number 40s torque bit. On the smaller valve, which is the 1 million BTU, there are two adjustments here. We're going to have a high fire adjustment right here on the flathead screw. Okay, flathead slot. Make your adjustment here. And the low fire adjustment is right here with a number 2 millimeter. So let's go back to the boiler and start up the boiler. Okay, so I've loosened the 4 Phillips head screws on the lower bulkhead door. And slide this out of position. Now keep in mind, when you're doing combustion setup on the boiler, we want to just only remove the rubber grommets. For this demonstration purpose, I've removed the lower bulkhead so you can see where the valve adjustments are made. What we're demonstrating here today is an LC 1 million. Again, on the 1 million 2 or the 1 million 7, you'd have the two large blue Honeywell valves. Okay, so previously I mentioned we have two gas valves, two blowers, two burners, and two controls. So on the home screen, you'll see two controls. One is labeled primary, one is labeled secondary. So when we get into combustion setup, we need to shut off one burner. So we're going to start by shutting off the secondary control and then enabling the primary control. So very simply, this is our secondary. We're going to touch the symbol of the solar control. We're going to come down here to operation, highlight operation, click on it. Burner enabled, it's on. To disable the burner, you need to unlock your padlock, okay? So we're going to press the padlock symbol, and we're going to go into LNT, that's the password, okay? Click OK. You'll see the padlock symbol unlock, all right? Now we can get in and shut off this burner switch. By clicking on it, it's going to prompt, are you sure you want to shut off the burner? Yes. So now that burner is off. I'm going to go back to the home screen. That's that home symbol here. Okay? So now our secondary is off. What we need to do is go back into the primary. The very first thing we need before we do combustion is we need a call for heat. We need the boiler running. So we wired in a little toggle switch here for the demonstration. I'm going to enable that to give us a call for heat. You'll see right now we're at 116 waiting for a flapper valve test, so it's going to go through its process. Okay, it's done the flapper valve test, and now the burner state was, now we're driving to purge. Okay, 62 hold will appear because the fan speed's not proved. Right here, we're looking for 5,000 RPMs, but we're only at 3,500 and climbing. Until we get close to 5,000 RPMs, our 62 hold will appear on the screen. Once we've achieved that, and that's for pre-purge, that's to purge the chamber of any residual gases, that 62 hold will go away. However, we do not want to light at 5,000 RPMs. Burner state, we're still measuring pre-purge time. Now we're driving to light off, and you'll see our RPM change to 4,000. So now we have to modulate down to 4,000. While we're there, 62 hold will reappear a second time. So now we're in a pre-ignition test. Pre-ignition time, direct burner ignition. We have a flame signal, and now we're in run. So our primary boiler or upper burner is now running. Okay, so now that the primary is running, we've hooked up our combustion analyzer. We're going to start a combustion testing. So, first off, what we want to do is get in, we want to lock the boiler into high fire. On the primary control, we're going to choose diagnostics. Click on diagnostics. We're going to click on diagnostic test. And here we have an option of choosing maximum modulation or minimum modulation. And we also have the padlock. Previously, we unlocked the padlock on the secondary control. Keep in mind there's two controls, so we need to also unlock on the primary. So I'm going to click on the padlock symbol. Password is LNT. Click OK. We're now logged in because my padlock symbol is unlocked. I'm going to choose maximum modulation, and you'll see the bar raise up. Click Start Test. Once I click Start Test, a timer starts, and that's going to time up to 5 minutes. Okay, so we have 5 minutes to do our maximum modulation. We're going to start our analyzer. Okay, so now what we can see is we're running at 8.63 CO2. We're looking for this product, for the 1 million, natural gas is 8.5% on high fire. It's a 0.5% less for low fire, which would be 8%. So we're not too far out of range, but what I'm going to do is just go in and make a slight adjustment. Again, I have the cover off. You'll make your adjustments through the rubber grommet. So this is our primary valve. Okay, I'm going to set my screwdriver up and make a slight adjustment. Line this in and make an adjustment. Going clockwise to reduce CO2. Be patient with your analyzer. Again, it could take up to 90 seconds to start balancing out. Okay, so now you can see we're right around 8.52%. What we're going to do is go into minimum modulation. And I'm going to restart the test, okay? Actually, if the timer is timed out, you can click Stop Test and restart, okay? Start test again. So now we have 5 minutes. We're going to wait. We're going to let our analyzer pull down. See that our CO2 is dropping. We're looking for 8% CO2. Again, high fire is right around 8.5 plus or minus 0.2, and low fire is a 0.5% less. Out around 8.13% CO2. We want to be around 8%. So I'm going to go in and make a low gas valve adjustment here. Number 2 millimeter Allen key. All right, and to reduce that, it's going to go counterclockwise. So I'm just going to make a very slight adjustment here, and then we're going to let our analyzer stabilize, which should be right around 8% CO2 for low fire. Okay, so now our low fire CO2 is at 8%. Okay, so now we can come back to the. Okay, so now that we're completed on the low fire, we're going to click Stop Test. We're going to go back to. I'm going to press the back arrow not once but twice. We're going to go back to Operation. Make sure your padlock is unlocked, and I want to disable this burner. Okay? So now we're going to disable the primary. The reason being, we now want to go into our secondary. So what I did is I went back and I hit the home screen, hold up the home screen with the two solar controls. This one's labeled secondary. Click on this. Press Operation. We want to enable this burner. However, the padlock timed out. So I'm going to go back in on my secondary now with the letters L and T and unlock my padlock on the secondary control. Now I'm going to turn this burner on so we can do combustion testing on the secondary side. Once I do, back to my home screen. And it's going to go through its sequence, doing its flapper valve test, hold 62 for the fan speed not proved, etc., until it actually lights. Okay, so now with our secondary burner shown here, we're running. So to do combustion testing here in setup, I'm going to go to Diagnostic on the secondary control, Diagnostic Test, padlock's unlocked. I'm going to hit maximum modulation and press Start Test. Our timer starts. We have 5 minutes. If you need to make an adjustment with your analyzer on your lower valve, which is your secondary valve, you're going to make your high fire adjustment right here. Okay? Once you've completed your adjustment at 8.5% CO2 on high fire, we're going to come back up to the screen. We're going to choose minimum modulation. However, I would stop the test, minimum modulation, and start it, restart it. That way you've got 5 minutes to do maximum, 5 minutes to do minimum. If you time out, you didn't get it set properly, just hit Start Test again, that's all. Alright, so now we're in minimum modulation. We would come in if you had to make a low fire adjustment. Number 2 millimeter key, Allen, that goes right into the valve. And you would make your low fire adjustment right here. Okay? And again, now we want to see about 8% CO2. Now lastly, I'm going to click Stop Test. We're going to let the boiler modulate back to where it needs to. We need to go back into the primary control. Make sure the padlock symbol is unlocked. If not, again, L, N, T. Click OK. Back into Operation and enable this burner switch. So make sure your padlock symbol is unlocked and enable the burner switch. And now both burners are back in operation. You can simply check that. Right now we're going into the test. And we know that the secondary in this case is running. So make sure that you're both back in operation. It is always good practice that once you've completed your combustion setup on both high and low fire, that you go in and double check with both burners running at high fire, both burners running at low fire. Okay, so if you have any technical questions, please refer to the manual or you can contact the factory. That number is 1-800-900-9276. Thank you.